The rain-soaked streets of Seattle glistened under the sodium glow of streetlights. But for Ethan Caldwell, the world was unraveling. He stood frozen, his $1,000 shoes sinking into a puddle, as his husband, Noah, screamed words that cut deeper than the November chill. Choose her or me. Ethan. In that moment, with a trembling woman huddled under his umbrella, Ethan's life built on wealth, love, and certainty teetered on the edge of collapse. Ethan, a 35-year-old tech mogul, had always been the man who had it all. His company, a renewable energy startup, had skyrocketed him to billionaire status by 30. And his marriage to Noah, a 28-year-old graphic designer with a laugh that could light up a room, was the envy of their social circle. They lived in a sleek waterfront penthouse, hosted charity galas, and traveled the world. But beneath the polished surface, Ethan carried a restless need to fix things, to save people, a trait born from a childhood of watching his mother struggle alone. Noah, with his sharp wit and gentle heart, had been Ethan's anchor, grounding him through every storm. Until tonight. The woman under the umbrella, Lily, was a stranger. Ethan had spotted her an hour ago, curled up in a doorway near Pike Place Market, her cardboard sign reading, "Anything helps. God bless." Her face, weathered but kind, reminded him of his mother's in her hardest years. Without thinking, he'd offered her a meal, then a ride, and finally, impulsively, a place to stay for the night. It wasn't the first time Ethan had brought someone home. His bleeding heart often led him to shelter strays, human or otherwise, but this time, Noah's patience snapped. "You can't keep doing this." Noah's voice echoed in the penthouse's marble foyer as Lily stood awkwardly by the door, clutching a worn backpack. "You bring home strangers like it's your job, Ethan. But I'm your husband. I'm supposed to matter more." His brown eyes, usually warm, blazed with hurt. Ethan reached for him, but Noah pulled away, pointing at Lily. "Her or me? Choose. Now." Lily shifted, her voice barely a whisper. "I can go. I don't want trouble." Her eyes, a striking hazel, held a quiet dignity despite her ragged coat. Ethan's heart twisted. He didn't know her story, but he knew the streets. She wouldn't survive the night in this storm. Yet Noah's ultimatum hung like a guillotine. Ethan's mind raced, replaying the years with Noah, their first kiss at a rooftop bar, the vows they'd exchanged under a canopy of stars, the fights they'd weathered. Could he throw that away for a stranger? "I'm not choosing," Ethan said finally, his voice steady but raw. "Not like this." Noah's face crumpled, and he stormed toward their bedroom, slamming the door. Lily looked down, her hands trembling. Ethan felt the weight of both their pain, a collision of his need to save and his need to love. He gestured to the guest room. "You're staying tonight, Lily. We'll figure this out." The penthouse, usually a haven, felt like a battleground as Ethan sank onto the couch. Lily hesitated, then sat across from him, her presence a quiet question mark. "Why me?" she asked softly. "You don't even know me." Ethan rubbed his temples, searching for an answer. "Because I can't walk away from someone who needs help. Not when I have so much." Lily nodded, her gaze distant, as if she'd heard promises like that before. As the storm raged outside, Ethan's mind churned. Noah's anger wasn't just about Lily, it was about every time Ethan's savior complex had pulled him away. Every late night spent funding shelters or mentoring at-risk youth. Noah had always supported him, but tonight felt different. Final. Ethan glanced at the guest room door, then at the bedroom where Noah was. He'd built a life of choices, each one calculated to perfection. But this one between love and compassion might cost him everything. Lily broke the silence. I've been on the streets 3 years, she said, unprompted. Lost my job, then my apartment. My family, they don't talk to me anymore. Her voice cracked, revealing a wound deeper than hunger. Ethan listened, his heart heavy. She wasn't just a stranger. She was a mirror to his past, to the mother he'd lost to poverty and pride. He wanted to ask more, but the bedroom door creaked open. Noah stood there, his face unreadable. Ethan, Noah said, his voice softer now. We need to talk. Alone. Ethan nodded, glancing at Lily. She stood, retreating to the guest room with a murmured, "Good night." As the door closed, Ethan faced Noah, the man he'd sworn to love forever. The air between them crackled with unspoken questions. Could Ethan balance his heart's pull toward both duty and devotion? Or would this night fracture everything he'd built? Noah's eyes, red-rimmed and weary, locked onto Ethan's. The penthouse, with its floor-to-ceiling windows and minimalist decor, felt suffocatingly small. I'm not the bad guy here, Noah said, his voice low but sharp. I've watched you give pieces of yourself to everyone else, strangers. Causes. The world. But what about me? Ethan's throat tightened. He wanted to cross the room, to pull Noah into his arms and erase the hurt. But the distance between them felt like miles. You're everything to me, he said, his voice breaking. You know that. Noah shook his head, pacing. Do I? Because it feels like I'm competing with every lost soul you find. And now her. He gestured toward the guest room where Lily slept, his words dripping with frustration. Ethan sank into a chair, his mind a tangle of guilt and resolve. He'd met Noah 5 years ago at a charity auction, where Noah's bold designs had caught his eye before their banter stole his heart. They'd built a life together, messy, beautiful, real. But Ethan's need to help, to fix, had always been a fault line in their marriage. I didn't mean to hurt you, Ethan said. Lily, she was freezing out there. I couldn't leave her. Noah stopped pacing, his shoulders slumping. That's the problem, Ethan. You never can. And I love that about you. But it's killing me. His voice softened, revealing the ache beneath his anger. I'm scared I'm losing you to this mission you're on. Ethan stood, closing the gap between them. But Noah held up a hand. Don't. Just tell me why her. Why now? Ethan hesitated, searching for words. She reminded me of my mom, he admitted. The way she looked, like she'd given up but was still fighting. I couldn't walk away. Noah's expression softened, but only slightly. He knew about Ethan's mother, who'd raised him alone in a rundown apartment, working double shifts until cancer took her when Ethan was 16. That loss had shaped Ethan's life, driving him to build a fortune and a legacy of giving back. But Noah wasn't a cause to be Saved was a partner, and Ethan had forgotten that. I need you to choose us, Noah said, his voice barely above a whisper. Not just tonight, but every day. Can you do that? Ethan wanted to say yes, to promise the world, but the image of Lily's haunted eyes lingered. He nodded slowly. I'll try, Noah. I swear. Noah's gaze held his, searching for truth. Then he turned and walked back to the bedroom, leaving Ethan alone with his thoughts. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the windows, casting long shadows across the penthouse. Lily emerged from the guest room, her hair tied back, her face less pale but still guarded. I'll leave today, she said, setting her backpack by the door. Thank you for last night. Ethan shook his head. You don't have to go. Not yet. He poured her coffee, gesturing to the kitchen island. Tell me about you. What happened? Lily hesitated, then sat, cradling the mug. I was a nurse, she said. Worked in a hospital in Tacoma. Then my ex-girlfriend left. And I fell apart. Lost my job, my savings, everything. Her voice was steady, but her eyes betrayed the pain of being abandoned. Not just by her partner, but by a family who'd rejected her for being gay. Ethan listened, his heart aching. Her story wasn't just about survival, it was about identity. About being cast out for who she loved. Noah joined them, his presence tense but quiet. He didn't speak, but his eyes flicked between Ethan and Lily, assessing. Ethan felt the weight of his husband's gaze, a silent reminder of last night's ultimatum. Lily, Ethan said carefully, we have a guest house. It's yours for as long as you need, while we figure out something permanent. Noah's jaw tightened, but he didn't protest. Lily's eyes widened. Why are you doing this? You don't owe me anything. Because I can, Ethan said simply. And because no one should be left behind. Lily looked away, her fingers tracing the mug's rim. Not everyone sees it that way, she murmured. Noah cleared his throat, breaking the moment. I'm going to work, he said, his tone clipped. We'll talk later. Ethan. He grabbed his jacket and left, the door closing with a soft thud that felt like a warning. Ethan spent the day with Lily, helping her settle into the guest house's sleek, modern space behind their penthouse. He arranged for clothes, toiletries, and a hot meal, but her quiet gratitude only deepened his unease. Was he helping her, or was he proving Noah right? As evening fell, Ethan found himself staring at his phone, Noah's last text burning in his mind. I love you, but I can't keep sharing you. The choice was coming, and Ethan wasn't sure he could make it. The guest house smelled of fresh linen and cedar, a stark contrast to the damp streets Lily had called home. She stood in the small living room, her backpack at her feet, staring at the plush couch like it might vanish. Ethan watched her, his heart caught between pride and doubt. You're safe here, he said, handing her a set of keys. Take your time settling in. Lily's fingers closed around the keys, her expression unreadable. No one's ever done this for me, she said. Not since. She trailed off, her gaze drifting to a framed photo on the wall, generic beach scene. But it seemed to pull her somewhere far away. Ethan wanted to ask, but he held back, sensing her need for space. Instead, he showed her the kitchen, stocked with basics, and the bathroom, where fresh towels waited. If you need anything, I'm just across the yard, he said. Back in the penthouse, Ethan found Noah sketching at the dining table, his pencil moving furiously across a tablet. The silence between them was heavy, broken only by the scratch of stylus on screen. She's settled, Ethan said, sitting across from him. Noah didn't look up. Great. Another project for you. The word stung, but Ethan leaned forward, determined. Noah, talk to me. Please. Noah set the tablet down, his eyes meeting Ethan's. I'm trying to understand, he said. I know you want to help her. I get it. But every time you do this, it feels like you're choosing someone else over me. Over us. Ethan reached for his hand, and this time, Noah didn't pull away. I'm not choosing her over you, Ethan said. I'm trying to do what's right. Can't you see that? Noah's laugh was bitter. What's right? Ethan, you can't save everyone. And I'm not sure you should try. He stood, pacing again, a habit Ethan knew meant he was wrestling with something deep. I love you, but I'm tired of feeling like I'm not enough. Like I'm just background noise in your life. Ethan's chest ached. He'd never meant to make Noah feel small. But the truth was undeniable. His need to help others often left Noah in the shadows. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He lay beside Noah, who slept fitfully, and thought about Lily. Her story had stirred something in him, not just sympathy, but a sense of purpose. He'd built his company to change the world, but maybe change started smaller, with one person. The next day, he contacted a friend who ran a local nonprofit, arranging a meeting for Lily to explore job training programs. When he told her, her eyes lit up, a spark of hope breaking through her guarded demeanor. "Thank you," Lily said, standing in the guest house doorway. "I don't know how to repay you." Ethan shook his head. "Just take care of yourself. That's enough." But as he walked back to the penthouse, Noah's words echoed, "You can't save everyone." Was he helping Lily out of compassion? Or was he running from something else, something broken in his marriage? Over the next week, Lily began to open up. She shared stories of her life before the streets, her love for painting, her dreams of opening a community health clinic, the girlfriend who'd left when Lily's world fell apart. Ethan listened, drawn to her resilience. But every conversation felt like a betrayal of Noah's trust. Noah, meanwhile, grew quieter, his smiles rarer. He threw himself into his art, designing posters for a local pride event. But the distance between them grew. One evening, Ethan found Noah on the balcony, staring at the city lights. "I'm trying, Ethan," Noah said without turning. "I'm trying to be okay with this, but I don't know if I can." Ethan wrapped his arms around Noah, resting his chin on his shoulder. "I love you," he whispered. "I'll fix this." But Noah's silence was louder than any words, and Ethan felt the ground shifting beneath them. Lily, too, was struggling. She'd started a job training program, but the weight of her past rejection, loss, shame clung to her. One night, she knocked on the penthouse door, her face pale. "I need to tell you something," she said, her voice trembling. Ethan braced himself, sensing a storm brewing. Whatever Lily was about to reveal, it would change everything again. Lily stood in the penthouse, her hands twisting nervously. The soft glow of the chandelier illuminated her face, revealing a mix of fear and determination. "I didn't tell you everything," she said, her voice barely steady. Ethan gestured to the couch, his stomach knotting. Noah, who'd been in the kitchen, paused, sensing the shift in the air. He joined them, his expression guarded but curious. "I wasn't just a nurse," Lily began, her eyes fixed on the floor. "I was involved in something. Before I lost everything." She took a deep breath, as if steeling herself. "I worked with an underground network, helping queer kids who'd been kicked out by their families. We'd find them safe places, get them off the streets." Ethan leaned forward, his interest piqued. Noah's eyes softened slightly, but he stayed silent. Lily continued, her voice gaining strength. "It wasn't legal. Not always. We'd forge documents sometimes, to get kids into shelters or programs without parental consent. I got caught once, almost arrested. My girlfriend at the time, she couldn't handle the stress. She left, and I spiraled." Her hands clenched. "My family cut me off when I came out at 20. The network was my family. But after I got caught, they had to distance themselves. I ended up alone." Ethan's heart sank. Lily's story wasn't just about low-sit, was about sacrifice, about fighting for others at the cost of herself. "Why didn't you tell me?" he asked softly. Lily met his gaze, her hazel eyes fierce. "Because I didn't want pity. And I didn't know if I could trust you." Noah shifted, his expression unreadable. But Ethan saw a flicker of respect in his eyes. "You're not alone anymore," Ethan said, the words slipping out before he could stop them. Noah's head snapped up, his jaw tight. "Ethan," he said, his voice low. "Can we talk outside?" Ethan nodded, following Noah to the balcony. The city sprawled below, indifferent to the storm brewing in their lives. "You're doing it again," Noah said, his voice shaking. "You hear her story, and you're ready to dive in. To save her. To fix everything. But what about us?" Ethan reached for him, but Noah stepped back. "I'm not saying she doesn't deserve help. She does. But I need you to see me. Ethan. I'm drowning here." Ethan's chest tightened. He'd thought he was balancing both, but Noah's words cut through his denial. "I see you," Ethan said, his voice raw. "I love you, Noah. I'm not trying to replace you." Noah's eyes glistened. "Then why does it feel like I'm losing you?" He turned away, gripping the railing. Ethan wanted to promise everything would be okay, but Lily's revelation had shifted something. Her fight for others mirrored his own, and he couldn't unsee it. Back inside, Lily was gone, leaving a note. "I'll be in the guest house." Didn't want to intrude. Ethan felt a pang of guilt. She'd sensed the tension, the fault lines in their marriage. Over the next few days, Ethan threw himself into helping Lily rebuild. He connected her with a lawyer to clear her record, found a local art therapy program for her to channel her love for painting, and even started researching ways to fund a new queer youth shelter. But each step forward with Lily felt like a step away from Noah. One afternoon, Noah came home with a flyer for the Pride event he'd been designing for. "They want me to speak," he said, his voice neutral. "About being out, being married, all of it." Ethan smiled, proud but cautious. "That's amazing, Noah." Noah nodded, but his eyes were distant. "I want you there. But I need you to be there for me, not for everything else." Ethan promised he would, but the weight of his choices pressed harder. That night, Lily joined them for dinner, a rare moment of calm. She shared stories of the kids she'd helped, her voice alive with purpose. Noah listened, even laughed, but Ethan saw the strain in his smile. As they cleared the table, Lily touched Ethan's arm. "You've given me a chance to start over," she said. "But don't lose what you have here." Her words hit like a warning, and Ethan realized the choice wasn't just about her or Noah. It was about who he wanted to be. The Pride event was a riot of color and sound, Seattle's streets alive with rainbow flags and laughter. Ethan stood in the crowd, watching Noah on a makeshift stage, his voice steady as he spoke about love, resilience, and the power of being seen. "We're stronger together," Noah said, his eyes scanning the crowd until they found Ethan's. "But it takes work to hold on to what matters." Ethan's heart swelled, but guilt gnawed at him. He hadn't been holding on it enough. Lily was there too, at Ethan's insistence, standing quietly beside him. She'd started her art therapy program and was painting again, her sketches vivid with emotion. Ethan had seen Oni's portrait of a young boy with haunted eyes, a nod to the kids she'd helped. Her presence at the event felt right, but Noah's words from the stage echoed in Ethan's mind. Hold on to what matters. Was he losing sight of that? After Noah's speech, the crowd cheered, and Ethan pushed through to meet him. Noah's smile was genuine but tired. "You were incredible," Ethan said, pulling him into a hug. Noah held on a moment longer than usual, whispering, "I meant every word." Ethan nodded, his throat tight. He wanted to promise he'd change, but Lily's presence beside him felt like a reminder of his divided heart. Later, at a nearby cafe, the three sat together, an uneasy truce. Lily sipped her coffee, her eyes bright with the energy of the event. "I haven't felt this alive in years," she said. "Thank you, both of you." Noah's expression softened, but he didn't reply. Ethan felt the tension, a tightrope he was failing to walk. "Noah," he said, "I want us to do this together. Help Lily. Help others. But as a team." Noah's gaze flickered with hope, then doubt. "Can we?" he asked. "Or will it always be you leading the charge?" The question lingered as they returned home. Ethan spent the next days trying to bridge the gap. He cut back on late-night calls with his nonprofit contacts, cooked dinner with Noah, and even joined him for a painting session, laughing as they smeared canvas with bright colors. But Lily's presence in the guest house was a constant reminder of the choice looming. She was thriving, her lawyer had cleared her record, and she'd landed a part-time job at a community center, but her story wasn't finished. One evening, Lily knocked on the penthouse door, holding a small canvas. "I made this for you," she said, handing it to Ethan. It was a painting of two hands clasped, one wearing a wedding ring, set against a stormy sky. "It's you and Noah," she said. "You're stronger than you think." Ethan's eyes stung. He wanted to believe her, but Noah's quiet distance told a different story. That night, Ethan found Noah in their bedroom, staring at the painting. "She's right," Noah said softly. "We could be strong, but only if you choose us first." Ethan sat beside him, their hands brushing. "I'm trying," he said. "I want to." Noah leaned against him, a rare moment of closeness, but the weight of the ultimatum remained. The next day, Ethan got a call from his nonprofit friend. They'd found funding for a queer youth shelter, and they wanted Lily to help lead it. Excited, Ethan shared the news with her, watching her face light up with purpose. But when he told Noah, the reaction was different. "That's great for her," Noah said, his voice flat. "But what about us? Are you going to run this shelter too?" Ethan froze, realizing how deep the rift had grown. As the weeks passed, Ethan felt the pressure building. Lily was rebuilding her life, but Noah was slipping away. One night, Ethan woke to find Noah gone. A note on the pillow: "I need space. I love you, but I can't do this alone." Panic surged through Ethan. He'd thought he could balance everything: love, compassion, purpose, but now, with Noah gone, he faced the truth. He'd been choosing without realizing it. And he might have chosen wrong. Ethan clutched Noah's note, his hands shaking as he read it again. "I need space. I love you, but I can't do this alone." The penthouse, once a sanctuary, felt hollow without Noah's laughter, his sketches, his warmth. Ethan called him, texted, left voicemails, but Noah didn't respond. The silence was a knife, twisting with every unanswered ring. He wandered to the guest house, where Lily was painting, her canvas alive with bold strokes. "He's gone," Ethan said, his voice breaking. Lily set her brush down, her eyes full of understanding. "I'm sorry," she said. "This is my fault." Ethan shook his head. "No, it's mine. I thought I could do it all, help you, love him, change the world. I was wrong." Lily sat beside him, her presence steady. "You gave me a chance to start over," she said. "But you can't lose him for me. Go find him, Ethan." Her words were a spark, igniting something in him. He couldn't lose Noah, not after everything they'd built. He grabbed his coat, determination overriding his fear, and headed out into the city. Ethan checked Noah's favorite spots: the rooftop bar where they'd met, the art supply store he loved, the park where they'd spent lazy Sundays. No sign of him. Desperate, he called Noah's best friend, Mia, who sighed through the phone. "He's at my place," she said. "He's a mess. Ethan, fix this." She gave him the address. A small apartment in Capitol Hill, and Ethan drove through the rain, his heart pounding. Noah opened the door, his eyes puffy, his hair disheveled. "What are you doing here?" he asked, his voice flat. Ethan stepped inside, rain dripping from his coat. "I'm here to choose you," he said. "I've been an idiot, Noah. I thought I could save everyone, but I didn't see I was losing you." Noah's expression wavered, torn between hurt and hope. "You say that now," he said. "But what happens the next time someone needs you?" Ethan took a deep breath, his voice steady. "I'll still help people. It's who I am. But you're my home, Noah. I'll put you first. Always." Noah looked away, his hands trembling. "I want to believe you," he whispered. Ethan reached for him, and this time, Noah didn't pull away. They stood there, holding each other, the rain drumming outside like a heartbeat. Back home, Ethan found Lily packing. "I got the job at the shelter," she said, her smile bittersweet. "I'm moving out tomorrow. You and Noah need this space." Ethan protested, but she held up a hand. "You've done enough. Let me take it from here." Her strength, hard-won and quiet, filled Ethan with pride, but also relief. She was ready to stand on her own. Over the next weeks, Ethan and Noah worked to rebuild. They went to couples therapy, where Ethan learned to listen, to see Noah's needs not as a challenge to his mission, but as part of it. Noah, in turn, opened up about his fears, his need to feel valued. They cooked together, laughed together, and slowly, the cracks in their marriage began to heal. Lily thrived at the shelter, her passion for helping queer youth reignited. She sent Ethan and Noah updates, photos of the kids she worked with, their faces bright with hope. One evening, she invited them to the shelter's grand opening. Ethan hesitated, worried it would pull him back into old patterns. But Noah squeezed his hand. "We'll go together," he said. And they did, standing side by side as Lily cut the ribbon, her smile a testament to what compassion could do. As they left the event, Noah leaned against Ethan, his breath warm against his neck. "I'm proud of you," he said. "And of us." Ethan kissed his forehead, feeling the weight of his choices settle into something new, balance. He'd chosen Noah, but he hadn't lost himself. And in that choice, he'd found a way to love better, to live better. The shelter's grand opening lingered in Ethan's mind as he and Noah walked home through Seattle's crisp autumn air. The city felt alive, its lights reflecting off the wet pavement, mirroring the hope Ethan carried. Noah's hand in his was a quiet promise, a reminder of what they'd fought for. But the journey wasn't over. Ethan knew trust, once broken, took time to rebuild. At home, they sat on the balcony, wrapped in a blanket, sharing a bottle of wine. "I was scared," Noah admitted, his voice soft. "Scared you'd choose your mission over me, over us." Ethan squeezed his hand. "I almost did," he said. "But you're my mission too, Noah. I'm learning that." Noah smiled, a real smile, and for the first time in weeks, Ethan felt the ground steady beneath them. Lily's updates from the shelter came regularly, each one a small victory. She'd helped a 17-year-old trans kid find a foster family, reunited a runaway with his sister, and even started an art program for the youth. Ethan and Noah visited often, bringing supplies or just listening to the kids' stories. Each visit was a reminder of why Ethan had helped Lily, but also a lesson in balance. Noah was there, always, grounding him. One evening, Lily invited them to a fundraiser she'd organized. The shelter was packed, the air buzzing with hope and purpose. Lily took the stage, her voice clear and confident. "I was on the streets a year ago," she said, her eyes scanning the crowd. but someone believed in me. And now, we're building a home for kids who need it." She looked at Ethan and Noah, her gratitude unspoken but clear. The crowd applauded, and Noah squeezed Ethan's hand, his pride evident. After the event, Lily pulled them aside. "I'm moving to my own place next month," she said. "The shelter's given me a salary, and I'm ready." Ethan felt a pang pride mixed with the bittersweet ache of letting go. "You don't need us anymore," he said, half joking. Lily laughed, her eyes bright. "I'll always need you. Just differently." That night, Ethan and Noah talked until dawn. They spoke of their fears, their dreams, the life they wanted. Ethan promised to scale back his nonprofit work, to delegate more, to be present. Noah promised to speak up, to not let resentment fester. It wasn't perfect, but it was honest, and that was enough. The shelter became a part of their lives, but not the center. Ethan focused on his company, launching a new initiative to fund queer-owned businesses. Noah's art flourished, his designs gracing billboards across the city. They hosted dinners, laughed with friends, and rediscovered the joy of being just them two men in love, building a life. One morning, Ethan found a letter from Lily in their mailbox. Inside was a sketch of the three of them, standing together under a rainbow flag, with the words, "Thank you for choosing hope." Ethan showed it to Noah, who smiled, his eyes soft. "We did good," he said. Ethan nodded, his heart full. They'd chosen each other, but they'd also chosen something bigger: compassion, connection, a world where no one was left behind. As winter approached, Ethan and Noah planned a trip, just the two of them, to a cabin in the mountains. It was a chance to reset, to remember why they'd fallen in love. Packing their bags, Ethan felt lighter than he had in months. He'd made his choice: not just Noah, but a life where love and purpose could coexist. And that, he knew, was worth everything. The cabin smelled of pine and wood smoke, a quiet retreat from Seattle's hum. Ethan and Noah sat by the fire, their knees touching, the crackle of logs filling the silence. Outside, snow fell softly, blanketing the world in calm. Ethan looked at Noah, his face glowing in the firelight, and felt a peace he hadn't known in years. "This is it," he said, his voice low. "This is what I want. Just us." Noah leaned into him, his smile warm. "Took you long enough," he teased, but his eyes held a depth of love that made Ethan's heart ache. They'd come through the storm, Lily, the ultimatum, the fear of losing each other, and emerged stronger. Not perfect, but real. Back in the city, Lily's shelter thrived. She sent photos of the kids painting murals, their laughter spilling through the frames. Ethan and Noah visited when they could, but they'd learned to set boundaries, to keep their marriage first. Lily understood, her own life now full of purpose and possibility. She'd even started dating again, a quiet romance with a woman from her art program, and her joy was infectious. One spring day, Ethan and Noah attended a shelter event, a celebration of its first year. Lily stood at the podium, her voice steady as she thanked the community. "This place," she said, "is proof that one act of kindness can change everything." Her eyes found Ethan and Noah, and she smiled. "To the people who gave me a chance, thank you for seeing me." The crowd cheered, and Noah squeezed Ethan's hand, his pride mirroring Ethan's. After the event, they walked through Pike Place Market, where Ethan had first seen Lily. The memory felt distant, like a chapter from another life. "I'm glad you helped her," Noah said, his voice soft. "I was wrong to make you choose." Ethan shook his head. "You weren't wrong. You made me see what I was risking. I needed that." Noah stopped, pulling Ethan into a kiss, the world fading around them. Their life settled into a new rhythm. Ethan delegated more at work, trusting his team to carry his vision. Noah's Ark career soared. His designs featured in a national campaign for queer rights. They bought a small house in the suburbs, a place to grow old together, with a garden where Noah planted flowers and Ethan, surprisingly, found he loved tending them. Lily's shelter became a beacon, inspiring similar projects across the country. Ethan and Noah stayed involved, but as partners, not saviors. They mentored, donated, listened, and in doing so, they found a balance that honored both their love and their values. One evening, as they sat in their garden, Noah handed Ethan a sketchbook. Inside was a drawing of their life moments of joy, struggle, and love, all woven together. "This is us," Noah said. "Messy, but beautiful." Ethan pulled him close, his heart full. He'd made his choice, not just that rainy night, but every day since. He'd chosen love, not as a sacrifice, but as a foundation. As the sun set, casting a golden glow over the garden, Ethan knew they'd built something enduring. Not just a marriage, but a life where compassion and commitment could coexist. Lily's journey, their journey, had shown him that. And in that truth, he found meaning, a love that lifted others without losing itself, a home that welcomed all, and a future bright with possibility.